Swadika, good morning, all of my students. How are you today? I hope you are very well. Okay. In today's lesson, we're going to look at the research project. All of you are required to do this research project as part of the to complete this subject. Okay, and your research project today is going to be about planning a trip to Southeast Asian countries. Well, let's look at this study guide. You will need a copy of this study guide, and I believe that Miss Anderson have already prepared it for you. So each one of you will have each copy of this. Okay, and in this study guide, there are lots of details about what you have to do, what you are required to do along 8 weeks. And because right now I'm on my break, October break, so that is why I am talking to you in the videotape. Okay, now if you have already got this one, let's have a look at my research project presentation. I'm going to start to talk about the whole project, the whole research project, what you have to do. And here's the first slide. Now let's have a look at this. The research project is designed to cover the whole 8 weeks of research, and I normally have you guys do it on every Friday, right? But right now we're going to do the first week of our research time. So let's have a look at this one. So the research project is about planning a trip to Southeast Asian countries. Look at this one. It's the Merlion, Singapore. It's the landmark of Singapore. Here's Ayutthaya, Thailand. You can see that this tree is covering the head of the Buddha image. That's in Ayutthaya, which is the ancient capital of Thailand. And the next picture is the Chocolate Hills, right? You can see that these hills on the background, beautiful, isn't it? It's in the Philippines. So there are many tourist attractions in many countries that you can choose to visit, right? What about our project? This project is about planning a trip to any Southeast Asian countries. We're going to do this every Friday, but mind you, today is the first day that you're going to do that. I would like you to think of the plan that is practical. It means that you can really plan it and complete your plan, fulfill your plan, right? Or fulfill your trip in the future, right? And it must be your own interest, right? Sometimes you are interested in so many countries, so you need to focus on at least 2 countries. Okay, you may focus on 3 countries. It depends on your interest, but sometimes at the end it's gonna be too much if you do 3 countries. So maybe at least focus on 2 countries first, and then if you have more time, you can add some more countries into your trip, right? So your work is to choose 2 countries. If you have already got them in your mind, that's okay, right? So we're going to spend about an hour a week of each Friday, and an hour a week of each Friday will be given for a research project. It means that you guys are going into the computer lab and go on the computer and do some research, right? And you're going to do a research on 1 topic each week. And I have already told you that we have 8 topics. Okay. Now look at this picture. This is part of the tourist attractions in Laos, which is Khon Papeng Falls in Laos. There's some Irrawaddy dolphin, and you might want to go there. Well, let's look at the next slide. Now, during the class time every Friday, you will research for information in a computer lab in a particular topic. After an hour of your research time, you will take your time for a few seconds to see me, and talk about what information you have found and what the choices are. What are your choices? What's your decision and the reason for your choice? Okay. For example, if you choose to visit Laos, you're gonna have to tell me why. Why do you think you are interested in this country, right? And what is the next one, the next country that you want to take a trip as well? Okay, so you're gonna need to give me some reasons for that. This picture, right? Let's talk about this picture. This is Ha Long Bay in Vietnam. Beautiful, isn't it? I plan to go there in May next year. Okay, the next one. Oh, let's look at the picture first. That is Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. Spectacular buildings here. Okay. Your homework for the weekend is to write a journal explaining about your research. Okay. In the class and before you finish the class, you're gonna have to come up with me and tell me what is your decision. But after you go back to your place and during the weekend, you're gonna have to write me an email to confirm that you are going to do such and such. You know, that's your decision and you would like to do that. You have to put it into the writing and email it to me, so I have the proof, I have the evidence that you have already chosen that one, right? And also to explain about your research. Okay. And here's the time you will have to submit your journal. So write a journal and tell Krutuk by 8 p.m. on Sunday. Your Sunday means 8 p.m. about 8 p.m. on Monday for me, so that on Monday morning I would get up and have a look at your email and see, okay, you know, so I know what you are doing. Keep me updated all the time. Okay. Now, what's the assessment for this project? Your trip plan and work progress is worth 70%. You know, how you participate in the research in the computer lab. Are you doing your work? Working hard in the computer lab, as I can see. You know, presenting your ideas, counseling with Krutuk weekly. As I told you, at the end of the class, at the end of the computer lab, you're gonna have to talk to me about your ideas, right? And probably counseling. You know, just talk to me. What is the problem that you encounter? Sometimes you couldn't find any information on such and such topic, because I can help you with that, right? Your journal keeping with all required details. You're going to have to keep a journal. It means that you are going to write to me on every Sunday about your journal. After we done the project on Friday, after we had the computer lab do the research project, Sunday 8 p.m. you're going to send me your journal and tell me about your trip. All right, that is what all of that is worth 70%. All right, your work progress, working process. Okay. And 30%, the rest 30% is for the presentation at the end of our course. It means that on the final week, and I believe that's going to be in January 2013, you're going to do a presentation, and the rubrics for the presentation is just the same rubric as the presentation that you have done for your colonial presentation that you have already seen, right? It's on my blog anyway, so that worth 30%. Okay. Now, well, let's look at week 1. What are you going to do? What are you going to research on week 1? All right. So you're going to look at each countries and decide which country you would like to visit. Choose at least 2 countries as I told you, all right? And please tell me why not other countries? Why these 2 countries? What interests you about these countries? It might be attractions, natural history, personal experiences. Maybe you have visited this country before in your younger age, and then you memorize it somehow, and then you might want to go back again, you know, just give me the reason. Okay, at the end of the class, report it to me. Okay. Oh, look at this picture. This is the Shwedagon Pagoda in Myanmar. It's one of the most beautiful temple that I would like to visit one day. Okay, so week 1, countries to visit. What about week 2? In week 2, you're going to report, do some research about activities or places or events. What would you like to do? Right? The first one, where to go. At least 2 attractions for each country. So if you choose to do, well, you are required to do 2 countries anyway. So that's going to be 4 attractions, right, for 2 countries. What to do? At least 2 activities. What I mean by activities, okay, you might want to go for whitewater rafting. You might want to join in the festivals. There are many kind of festivals that you can join. Cultural festivals, you know, traditional thing or activities that you can choose to do, right? Just do some research hard, and then you find a lot of interesting activities that you can join. What to experience, cultural events, you know. When to visit, time and duration. So be specific, okay? If you plan to go during your after you finish grade 12, you can just say, all right, after I finish grade 12 in August or in June, in whatever month. So be specific a little bit, okay? And duration, how long would you like to go for? Some people choose to go for 2 weeks. Some people choose to go for a month. It depends on your time and budget, okay? What is the currency of each country? Definitely they're not using dollar, right? What's the currency of each country that you're going to visit? And how much is that currency compared with the US dollar, right? That's going to be interesting, isn't it? Okay, and don't worry about this Friday, December. That's for last year. Look at this picture. This is one of the temple in Angkor Wat in Cambodia. And beautiful, isn't it? I've been there and it's so amazing. Okay, this is I'm just trying to show you as many tourist attractions as I can. Okay. Now, what would you do in week 3? International travel. That topic is about how are you going to get to the countries, right? So you're gonna have to be very specific about your airline. What airline are you going to fly to? Flight details and options, the cost of the airfares. All right, transportation means sometimes, you know, if you are flying to Thailand already and then you want to go to Malaysia, how are you going to get to Malaysia from Thailand? Well, there are so many ways. For example, you might want to choose to go by a train or a car or a bus or even an airplane. All right, so it depends on you totally. Let's go find out, you know, to get some more experience. You're gonna have to compare prices between different airlines. So at least 2 or 3 airlines that you have to select from the list. Well, there are so many airlines that offer you the flight to those countries. So please look at those airlines and compare the prices, and then you will find the best price for you. And I think Miss Anderson can help you with that. Okay, and after you have chosen all of those, please give me some reason for your decision as well. It might be the cost because it's cheaper. It might be the service because the service is much better. It depends on you totally, right? Here in this picture is the Ulan Danubratan Temple in Bali, Indonesia, and that might give you some idea where to go. Okay. Now, what to do on week 4? Accommodation. 2 countries. Where do you want to stay, right? What kind of accommodation? Where to stay? Are you going to stay in the backpacker, in a hotel, a motel, or a guest house? It depends totally on your budget. Okay. What I mean here is for each attractions or each town or each city and each country as well. The price is very important as well. Please give me the price as well. All right, for each night, for one night, how much would it cost? And why would you choose to stay there? So I would like to remind you again that this should be very practical. Okay, as you are a student and your budget might be a little bit low, and you keep some money, you trying to save the money and you want to spend it wisely, right? So you're gonna have to be very practical. I don't want you to just tell me I'm going to stay in a 5-star hotel, because that might not be possible. It might be possible in 20 years or 10 years time, but not very soon. So please be practical a little bit about this point. Look at this picture. This is the Petronas Towers in Malaysia. Beautiful. What would you do on week 5? How to get around inbound. It means within the countries you will have to select the transport that you're going to travel, right? You might choose to take a bus. Some people might want to come to Thailand and want to travel to the south, and you want to get some experience on the train, because the train ride is quite exciting in Thailand as well. But some of you may choose to go by plane because it's save much more time, or just get around. If you are able to ride a motorbike, just feel free to do it, or a taxi. It depends on you totally. So please try to do some research about these transports. Okay, and the cost of the transport as well. How much would it cost to rent a motorbike per day? How much would it cost you, right? Here, where to rent a motorbike, how much does it cost? Do you need a license for that? That's very important as well. How much does a taxi, a bus, or a train cost? Okay. Look at this island, PP Island, Krabi in Thailand. It's a very beautiful spot in Thailand. I've been there twice and it's so pretty. Now, let's have a look at week 6. Entry requirement or customs. Would you need a visa? I'm not sure, okay? So you would have to find out, do some research. Visa requirement, where to get your visa, how much does it cost? What about safety issues? Would it be safe to travel by yourself to Thailand? What about the travel tips? Okay, what are the tips that people say, all right, when you come to Cambodia, or maybe when you go to the Philippines? What is the tips, during your travel? Now, do's and don'ts. Well, the countries of Southeast Asia, we observe Buddhism. So what should you do and what you shouldn't do, right? There are so many different kind of rules that you might not want to do it here, but it might be okay to do it at home, all right? So you have to find out about that. I'm not going to tell you now. So what to do in an emergency? What will you do? What if you lose your passport? What if you lose your money, right? So what are you going to do with that? Find out information. This picture shows Phra That Luang in Laos. It's one of the most revered and the most beautiful temple in Laos. Week 7, overall budget. After you have done all the research each week, right? You have also the research about the price of everything already. I would like you all to add up all the cost, everything from transportation to a meal. How much does a meal cost, right? Accommodation. You're gonna have to calculate how many nights are you going to stay there, and what would the accommodation cost. What about your visa? How much money do you need for it? Pocket money, all right? Are you going to do a lot of shopping? Emergency money, and all of those things. Calculate all of those, and then find out how will you earn the money. Have you already got your saving right now, or would you like, or how are you going to earn the money? Probably you want to work part-time to try to make it happen, right? I would like all of you to try to do that. So the picture is East Timor. It's the Mount Ramelo, all right? That's in East Timor. Just some part of the attractions of Southeast Asian countries. On the presentation days, which is week 8, right? I would say, okay, on the presentations day, what are you going to do? You are going to be giving a presentation on your trip plans on January, as I told you. That's going to be 2013, right? And we might want to practice or do some rehearsal before that. So I'm going to give you a specific time before we do the presentation, the real presentation at the end of the course in January, right? So this is one of the attraction it's one of the mosques, the most beautiful mosque in Brunei. Now, oh, that is just the picture of my place on the mountain in Thailand. I just want to show you that. That's the morning sunrise. Beautiful, isn't it? Anyway, now, oops. Okay, so after you have listened to what are you going to do in general, today is the very first day of your research time, and I believe you guys are going into the computer lab in a few minutes. So the very first thing that you are going to do this week, so spend the rest of your time for this class reading this, okay? That's the look at this one. In the study guide, there's already some of the all the topic have already been written in this study guide already. You can read through and then come and have a look at week 1. So today is your week 1 research project. Now, I would like you guys to spend the rest of your time, go on internet, research about the countries of Southeast Asia, and let's look at what countries to visit, right? Choose 2 countries. What interests you about these countries? Give me the reasons, right? 2 countries. Choose 2 countries. Tell me what interests you. Tell me about the attractions. It might be attractions, or you really like to go to Angkor Wat in Cambodia. That's what attracts you to go to this country. Maybe it might be natural history and personal experience, as I told you. If you have any questions, just write it down here. Please try to write down the source of the information that you have found on internet as well. Okay, this is only for week 1. For week 1, for today. On Sunday, 8 p.m., you are going to send me an email and tell me, write a journal and tell me about the countries that you want to visit. Try to give me the reasons as much as you can, so I know that you really want to go to that country because of such and such and such. All right, then that way I can understand you and your trip even more. Okay, and that's for today. All right, and I hope you enjoy your time in your computer lab and happy researching some information. It's gonna be exciting, isn't it? Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. สวัสดีค่ะ